Okay. Iran, the president said this morning, I think, in Israel, that Iran will not be allowed to get a nuclear weapon. Director Coates, do you believe that the current agreement with Iran regarding their nuclear program will accomplish this goal?
No, I think it was made clear that it would not accomplish this goal. It would only accomplish a deferment relative to their having a free hand at developing nuclear capability.
Do you agree with that, General?
It defers the effort, and I don't see any indication that Iran is pursuing breaking out of that deal at this point.
The question is, does it accomplish the goal of denying them nuclear capability?
Ultimately, it does not deny forever.
Okay.
It defers for 10 years, if I understand the agreement.
Okay. Iran, do you agree, is more aggressive since the agreement in terms of activity within the region?
We've seen a lot of malign efforts on the part of Iran that are very provocative. The Secretary, on the confirmation of the last 90-day certification that has to be signed every 90 days relative to the Iranian compliance with the JCPOA, while the intelligence did not suggest a breach that would deny confirming that.
The question is, have they been more aggressive in the region?
Absolutely more aggressive.
Do you agree with that, General?
I don't know that I would necessarily say they're more aggressive. Their actions in Syria was the same.
What about Yemen?
In Yemen, that's picked up because
would you say they're a destabilizing force in the region?
Absolutely.
Is there any indication they've taken the sanctions money and put it in roads, schools, and hospitals?
That would be impossible to detect effectively.
Is it fair to say that they've increased their military capabilities since the agreement?
Some of the money that they've gained has gone to military. The preponderance of the money has gone to economic development and infrastructure.
Okay. Is Iran a greater threat or a lesser threat since the agreement? Or the same?
I would say it's certainly a threat to the region. Whether it's greater or lesser, based on the agreement, okay. I'm not sure I can assess that.
How do you get on the ballot in Iran to run for president?
The question is, how do you?
Yeah, how do you get on the ballot to run for president in Iran?
Well, it looks like you can get on the ballot, but that you can get kicked off.
Yeah. Who has the final say who gets on the ballot?
I think it's the supreme leader.
Do you agree with that, General Stewart?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's on the ballot he doesn't want. North Korea, is it the policy of the United States to stop North Korea from developing a missile with a nuclear weapon on top that could hit America, or is it the policy of the United States to contain that threat by trying to shoot it down if they launch it?
It's the policy of the United States to prevent it.
Do you agree with that, General Stewart?
Yes, Senator.
So that would mean all options are on the table to prevent it. Is that correct?
I'm certainly not in a position to remove any of the options.
Okay. ISIL, our strategy to take Raqqa back has a heavy reliance on YPG Kurds. Are you both familiar with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that creating friction with Turkey?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you agree that it would be better if we had more Arabs in the fight and less Kurds from a regional point of view?
I think General Mattis is the best person to answer that question, okay. And I think he's very comfortable with what the balance is.
From an intelligence point of view, do you see growing friction between Turkey and Kurdish elements in the region?
It appears likely.
Is that being driven by our policy to arm the YPG Kurds with heavy weapons?
I think it contributes to it.
Do either one of you know anything about Bitcoin?
You know, I tried to figure out what it was, and I never got a good answer, or at least one that I could comprehend. I'm still using dollars and coins.
Me too, but could you do me a favor and look at that issue and report back to the committee whether or not you believe Bitcoin will become the currency of terrorists and criminals down the road?
We'd be happy to look into that. I think there's some indication that it is being used for that purpose, but we can give you an assessment of that.
Sequestration would be a disaster for both of your agencies if it kicked back in.
It would continue to cut into real capability.
Same for you.
It's a little difficult for me to answer that question relative to the community as a whole, but it would depend on what other supplemental measures of resources would be available.
Thank you both.